So some Rockstar employees are now getting in trouble with Rockstar Games for talking to the media and the press. But before we get into today's video, I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so any help you can give me to help me get there is massively appreciated. Let's get into the video. So for those that don't know, a fair few weeks ago, Rockstar made an announcement to their employees that they would have to return to working in the office full time. Now my comment section was full of a lot of varying opinions. A lot of people saying that Rockstar employees are lazy, they should learn how to work a full-time job. But that's completely ignoring the fact that some of these Rockstar employees live hours, if not days of driving away from their nearest Rockstar studio, and they were employed on work from home contracts. It is physically impossible for them to drive to the office 5 days a week. But also, a lot of these employees might start work at 8, 9 in the morning, and they'll be working to 11 p.m. at night, 3 of those days a week in the office. Then normally, they'd go home and work from home for 2 of the days of the week. So they're still working 5 days a week, a completely normal working time schedule, but for at least 3 of those days a week, sometimes they're putting in double shifts, because they have to have phone calls with different departments all around the world. So contextually, that's why I've been defending Rockstar's employees, because it isn't black and white. Not every Rockstar employee lives 2 minutes away from the nearest development studio, and a lot of people would like to boil this down to something that it really isn't. Now recently I did an interview with a Rockstar employee, and I've explained this in multiple videos and on multiple live streams, but I still think it's important for the context of this video. In my past as an editor, obviously I edited for YouTubers, and I also edited for a lot of corporate businesses as well, and some of the content I edited for social media content for apps developers. Now one of the companies that I previously worked with, one of their employees left to go to Rockstar, and we've kept in touch here and there, and we've had some conversations back and forwards. And of course, being a GTA channel, seeing as I started this in October, occasionally I've popped him some questions about GTA, and every single time he said, "I can't talk about that, you know that, stop asking me." I've been shot down repeatedly. When it came to this whole situation about Rockstar employees being told to go back to the office for 5 days a week, of course this person was more forthcoming with that information, and so were a lot of Rockstar employees. Now a lot of Rockstar employees are part of workers' unions, and in particular there are some unions in the UK that are designed purely around protecting the workers' rights in the gaming industry. So some of these Rockstar employees of course made statements to the union, of course in complete confidence, and normally you can speak to your union and your union representative can publish the things you say as long as you're kept anonymous, names aren't mentioned, key identifiable people within the business aren't mentioned. Unions are supposed to be the balancing side to an employment firm, so the employment firm can't exercise too much power over the employees, and the union can fight back and keep a relatively even balance. Now of course this balance sometimes gets knocked out of whack, especially when Rockstar employees complain about some things that are happening within the business that can cause effects onto Take-Two Interactive share price. That can have so many different knock-on effects, it becomes a bit more complicated. But recently this article went live from Rockstar Intel that contains a bit more information on what's happened since all of that stuff happened about 3 weeks to a month ago. So what's been happening? It all began in February when leadership at Rockstar Games told staff that they must work from the office 5 days a week starting in April. In the company-wide email, head of publishing Jen Colby stated that there would be security concerns and reduction in productivity on Grand Theft Auto 6. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who originally reported this email, said that employees are not thrilled with this change. Why would they be? Many developers will not live close to a Rockstar Games studio and will now be forced to commute at length each day. Since then, disgruntled team members have spilled some of the bad feelings they've had. And this is an important thing to remember. So a large part of Rockstar's workforce do live near a development studio. A lot of them have actually relocated to live near the development studio. But some of the people that were employed from like 2018 to present day, when Rockstar were offering employees work from home contracts, no, it wasn't necessarily anything to do with the pandemic, stop commenting that. This all started back in 2018 to avoid crunch culture, but a lot of these employees that were employed since 2018 were employed purely on remote working contracts. So basically, the ability for them to earn an income is fully dependent on working from home and the work from home platform that Rockstar has created. There's also this massive misconception that Rockstar employees are all on $100,000 a year or £100,000 a year, whatever it might be. It's not the case. Most employees at Rockstar, up to about 60% of their workforce, are earning less than £30,000 a year. Minimum wage in the UK at the moment, if you're over 25 years of age, is about £22,000 a year, give or take. The average salary, according to Glassdoor at Rockstar Games, is around $35,000. And some employees at Rockstar are on like $60,000 to $100,000 a year, but the majority of people are sitting below $30,000 a year. So if someone lived a couple of hours away from a studio and had to maybe go into the office at 9 AM and because they have calls throughout the day, maybe leave at 11 PM and they're driving in total maybe 4 hours a day, it's just not feasible. I don't care that this is the biggest entertainment piece in history. It's not worth an employee spending nearly all of their salary just on fuel to get to work. I've yet to see a comment from someone over the age of 12 years old that can logically put together a good argument why Rockstar employees should be expected to travel maybe 4-hour round trips a day to get to and from work and work overtime time, let's be honest, they're working sometimes up to 12, maybe more hours a day to help a big corporate company. Let's be realistic about this. And this article here then references some of the other statements that were issued in the past that were made towards the workers union, but the thing that I'm more interested in is more Rockstar Games staff voiced their concerns. Gaming news outlet Aftermath have also put out a report after speaking with Rockstar Games employees. According to the site, 2 current Rockstar Games staffers came forward to share information about what is happening within the studio's virtual walls. One of the sources admits the security reason given for a return to office is easier to take in good faith following a string of major leaks in the past. Another say they've heard about some devs receiving reprimands for sharing their thoughts on the plan to work at the office full time. We're just waiting for more information from management about how the hell this is going to work. Some information has been passed around and plans include to reduce the access developers will have outside of physical offices. A source speaking with Aftermath claimed that they'll no longer be able to communicate or remote access into Rockstar systems when at their home. Staff dispute working from home has made things worse and a concerned tough crunch is coming. Now this brings me on to the second point I want to make about the leaks. So, 2 of the big leaks that have happened are the ones in 2022, and of course the ones that happened around November last year just before the trailer dropped. The leaks back in 2022 was because Rockstar's messaging platform was hacked, Slack. Now, this could have happened from anywhere. Whether the employees are at home, in the office, wherever they're working from, this would have still happened. The next big leak, which was November last year, which was the big TikTok leak where someone filmed a screen of a little look around of Vice City, that didn't come from a little dev working from home. That didn't come from one of the junior office staff sharing some leak. That came from Aaron Garbutt, who's been at Rockstar for 20 years and he's the 4th in command of the whole production for GTA 6. So trying to pass down these security concerns down to a developer level, especially when all of the leaks that have happened so far, not a single one of them's come from a small scale developer, I think is a little bit disingenuous. Now, of course, there could be leaks that we don't know about. There could be information that's been spread that we don't know about, and there could be concerns that we don't know about. So maybe there are some really justified reasons why maybe there's a lack of trust in the Rockstar employees and these developers working from home. I'm not going to pretend for any second that I have all of the ins and outs of Rockstar's business and their business practices, but the reasons they give aren't looking great. Some do believe that this change will backfire and actually reduce productivity rather than improve it, like Rockstar management believe. There's also a feeling that more team members could have health impacts or resign from the company over it. Now, with the Rockstar employee I spoke to, this is not something I included in the interview because it was just some additional context, but the general feeling at Rockstar with the employees at the moment isn't great. From what I understand at the moment, some employees have actually handed in their resignation, and some employees are now getting offered jobs elsewhere. Since this news came out, a lot of big games developers are just farming out emails to Rockstar employees on LinkedIn, offering them better contracts. A lot of people have said, if you don't like it, you can just quit. And yeah, they can. They can just quit. Although it's very difficult to find a job in a gaming industry, which at the moment is suffering overall, they could just quit, but then that will dramatically affect the game. On average, to train an employee in a development role for a certain business practice takes around about 12 months, between 9 and 12 months anyway. Now imagine having to give a brand new employee that knows nothing about Rockstar Games or GTA 6 or anything they've been working on for the past almost maybe 10 years, maybe less than that, maybe 8 years, giving them all that additional context to get them up to scratch to carry up where a previous developer left off. That would cause GTA 6 to be delayed. Even if that's only 2% of the workforce, certain departments will have severe knock-on effects. And that's echoed by one of the developers who says losing key people and teams would be very, very bad. Now, to conclude, my overall thoughts of Rockstar taking action on these employees and reprimanding them for talking to media outlets and stuff like that, I feel like it's slightly underhanded. Now, of course, I understand why. The secrecy around the whole project is very important to Rockstar Games, as we know, but reprimanding an employee for going to their union representative and also talking to the public, this is just my experience, but with a Rockstar employee I spoke to, they did not want to talk about GTA 6 at all. They did not want to share any information. They were adhering to their NDA. They were staying truthful and on point with every point of secrecy that they had to. Their overall concerns were just the work environment themselves. Now, in my opinion, I haven't seen a full Rockstar NDA or all of the particular clauses and details inside of it, but I am going to question the ethics of putting a gag order on employees about talking about their work environment. Now, I understand talking about individual projects can be contentious and it could be a problem, but if there is abuse of power in the workplace, which, for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much that, I do think that employees do have the right to talk about it. This is the very reason unions exist. I'm very keen to hear what all of your thoughts are on this topic down below, and of course, if anything develops or the situation changes at all, I will put out an update video. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and a massive thank you to my channel members up in the top right. If you did enjoy today's video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.